Hello everybody, welcome back to Grand Theft Auto 4, and I'm in the really nice, very fast car that I got last time, which I will be losing in this mission, which I did not know when I started it, so that kind of made me sad. But anyway, we are paying one last visit to our good incarcerated friend Jerry McCreary for, the last chapter in the saga of the diamonds, at least as far as it concerns this game. As I've said before, the two expansion games go into that a little bit more, and I think they're most central to the story of Ballad of Gay Tony, but they play a big role in all three of the things.
Bad news? Ain't gonna make a blind bit of difference to me.
What do you mean? Do you want me to spell it out? No, I guess not.
Thanks. Packy'll give you a call and explain. The ex-boyfriend of your girl is gonna agree to the divorce terms. Unfortunately, turns out he wasn't our only problem. Some other crap has turned up. I don't think I'll be getting out anytime soon. Been a great laugh. You look after yourself.
Yeah.
Nico, me and Gracie is waiting for you just off of Frankfurt Avenue in Northwood. Looks like our joyful time with her is coming to an end.
That's a fucking tragedy. We should throw her a goodbye party.
That's the plan. Hopefully someone might bring a big present for us to this shindig as well. Maybe a big bag of diamonds will help us get over the pain of losing her. We're waiting for you, man.
So yeah, we're doing our final drop-off of Grace Ancelotti in exchange for the diamonds, and I just zoomed directly into the back of a car. By the way, apologies if you can hear my washer, which is in this room, that I have mentioned many, many times at this point. I'm sure most of you are aware of it. Most of you have said that you can't hear it in the videos, which is good, but even if you can't hear it, it does always affect my audio quality because I have to do the noise cancellation in Audacity, and it just makes my voice sound a little bit like tinnier or cannier, I guess is the best way I can describe it, when I highlight the times where, because I already have the AC on in a lot of places, and yeah, I sped this part of the trip up because we got some stuff to do in this segment. We don't have time to fuck around. The next couple of parts, probably the next several parts until the end of the LP, are probably going to be on the longer side. I've done some of them, in the like 20 to 27 minute range or whatever, but I think it's pretty much going to be like half hour or 35-minute videos from here on out, because we have a lot of longer missions, and I would like to pack more than just one per video into each one if possible. But yeah, it does affect my audio quality when I have to do it with the AC or the washer or both, which is what's on right now. I was gonna let it run and finish because I came in here and it said that there were 35 minutes left, and so I was like, alright, well I can wait a half hour to start recording, and then about 40 minutes went by and it still said there were 35 minutes left, which is a thing that my washer does all the time. I don't know why, and it's always on 35 and 1 minute. Like, I swear to God, more than one time it's been washing or drying something, and it's said that there's 1 minute left for like almost 2 hours. I've already gone into in other videos like how little sense our washer dryer makes as a machine, so I won't do it again here, but suffice it to say that it's still on its bullshit, and it's makes it very difficult to plan around it because, you know, the washing and drying time is already like long as fuck, even if it didn't stop for like a full hour on 1 minute. So it's like impossible to know how long it's gonna take, because I don't think there's much rhyme or reason to how much time it stays stuck on times, because sometimes it's been on 35 minutes for like a couple minutes and then stops. I have no idea. I have no fucking clue how this thing works. And from what I understand, I've looked up reviews of this same machine, which I know that a while ago one of my commenters asked. Oh yeah, I noticed this. I don't know why this is here. There's just a knife here on the highway. I thought maybe it might be a grenade or something, or maybe a pigeon that you have to shoot just in the middle of the fucking road, but it's a knife. I don't know why. And I don't know if it's there all the time, but I didn't notice it. I don't know if I've taken this ramp yet. By the way, I like this little area. You know, these little... The patches of greenery in this game are pretty few and far between, so whenever you get to a place where there's a little bit of foliage, it's always pretty nice. By the way, I don't know why I just thought of this now. I think I was just thinking back to when I hit that car at the beginning of the episode, but some crazy shit happened last night right in front of our apartment. We have so we live like 2 doors down from the corner of a, I won't say a major intersection, but it's a fairly busy one. It's, you know, one of the major residential streets that goes on to Broad Street, which is like the primary sort of north-south street that cuts through the length of Philly. And people run the red light all the time, and this is not the first accident that's happened there since we started living here. But it sounded crazy outside, but apparently someone ran the red light and it made this truck have to swerve, and it ended up knocking over the entire traffic light and smacking into the pizza place near us into the wall. Luckily, did not break through the wall. The truck didn't look too damaged, even though the bumper fell off. And from what I could tell, because we watched it all unfold, there were medics and everything, but no one went in the ambulance and no one looked hurt, so that's good. But they really fucked the hell out of that traffic light, and now there's a big dent in the restaurant. And it's just one of those cool things that happens in Philadelphia all the time. Also, the mysterious nighttime booms, which apparently have been happening in other cities as well. And I'm used to people setting off fireworks here in the city all the time, which is already annoying as fuck, but there are some other ones that do not sound like fireworks. And they've just been happening with pretty much every night with relative frequency for the last, 3 weeks. The police kept saying at first that they were people blowing up ATMs, which on the first day of the protest where there was a riot, that did happen once. But it can't be. I mean, it's dozens of times, every other night for weeks. So I think it's a psyop. I have no fucking clue.
How is it? That whenever something is stolen from me, you're not far away.
I have never stolen anything from you, Mr. Bulgarin.
This man, the big Pedic and his Dominican beach, they stole my diamonds. And you have been trying to rob the thieves, to rob me. Кончай!
I don't care what you did to that man, but we ain't leaving here without them diamonds.
Ray Bulgarin is easily the most annoying of all of the, prominent criminals in this game, because he has nothing to do with anything that's happening, but obviously he's connected to it, but, you're not doing anything to him, but he's just Nico, why do you keep stealing from me? I stole these things, and then other people stole them from me, and then you stole them from them without knowing that they had them from me. Oh, you are stealing from me, just like you stole those people when you, jumped off the boat alone. And it's just like, I don't know if it's misunderstanding or if he's just a dumbass or if he just needs an excuse to murder you, but like, it's so overkill. I mean, he sends like 50 guys in this mission over some fucking diamonds. So yeah, this is like one of those big missions where there's 2,000 people and it's a big place. It's a neat enough like set piece for one of these shootouts. But you know, it's part 31 of this playthrough. I'm sure you have just about had your fill of these sorts of shootouts. Excuse me. I do like the raindrops on the camera though. And I was being pretty haphazard with it because I knew there are health and armor pickups around here. And honestly, a lot of these dudes are pretty fucking stupid and won't actually shoot at you all the time. So yeah, I really like was not making any effort to take a bunch of cover or anything. Mostly because the cover system is kind of fucked sometimes. Like, especially if you need to like turn around or change direction and aim at someone else. It's just, even when you're using a mouse and keyboard, it just is very strange and awkward, and I don't know. I mean, it's generally a good thing to have cover and at least not just like stand in the middle of gunfire, which is precisely what I was just doing. But whatever, I'm not doing too bad. I got all full armor. I came in with full armor, and like I said, there's pickups, so it's not hard to find other stuff if you're running out. But yeah, so I'm looking at my little notes in my phone of oh yeah, I didn't do it here, but easiest thing to do to get rid of these guys obviously is just rocket launcher the car. The cars, that is. But then you have to get away later, and it's easier to just steal those cars and like take that truck or find another car nearby, because this plant is pretty huge. I actually don't know what this place is. I'm sure that they said, but I don't really remember what kind of like plant or facility it's supposed to be, and I can't tell by just looking at it because I'm a dumbass. That's something that I do a lot when we're driving out of the city, because Philly is, you know, like most cities, just surrounded by all of this infrastructure of, like, you know, chemical plants and, you know, the places where they have those big mounds of salt or whatever, shit like that. And I always just like looking up what it is and that kind of thing. Anyway, here's this idiot.
If I don't give you the diamonds, you kill me here and you take them. I do give you the diamonds, Mr. Bulgarian kills me later. I don't nobody having them. Screw all of you.
Jebeno isto.
You selfish piece of cock-sucking shit!
Yep. So the diamonds are no more. All of that was for fucking nothing. We've devoted like 7 missions in this game to procuring and then stealing back those diamonds. And now they're just going in the fucking dump because of that loser not wanting to be murdered. And then he was anyway, so didn't really work out too well for him. And Packy thought that he was such a fucking piece of cocksucking shit that he felt the need to say that exact turn of phrase twice. But yeah, there you go. That's the end of the saga of the diamonds. Pretty disappointing, but hey, that's what happens when you do the thing. It's very much that kind of moment like the ending of Uncut Gems, which I was about to say what happens, but I want people to watch that movie if they haven't, and I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, watch Uncut Gems. It's on Netflix now, and that movie's really good.
Money out of those diamonds anyway. I've got the suspicion those were the ones Ray Bocchino got me to handle a while back. They're bad luck. Me and some biker had to try to sell them to a diamond dealer, and it turns into a blood bag. That was when those friends of Gracie's must have gotten there.
Stole them from you, did they?
No, they stole them from the guys I sold them to. Shit, These diamonds have been trouble since Ray first made me take them out of a trash can for him. It's good they are on their way to a landfill somewhere. Best place for them. The population of Liberty City would have been higher if we had.
You might be right, Nico.
Yeah, I mean, we've killed, like, just Nico has killed, like, what, like 80 people just in pursuit of these diamonds?
Homosexual man. Gracie's friend. Well, I don't know, maybe to Bulgari.
Bulgarin. He the motherfucker who busted up our peaceful hostage exchange? What in Christ's name went on back there anyways?
Some time ago, I worked for Mr. Bulgarin in Europe, smuggling people across the Adriatic. The ship sunk. The cargo sunk to the bottom of the sea. I had to swim for my life. Bulgarin lost a lot of money that night and he needed someone to blame. This was one of the reasons I leave Europe and come here to Liberty City.
And now he shows up claiming the ice belongs to him. What are the chances?
Our paths crossed back when I was living in Hope Beach as well. My cousin and I moved up to Bohan to get away from him and another man called Dmitri Raskolov.
That's a real shame. I can see you fitting right in down in Home Beach, Nico. Probably a good thing you got out, though. Wouldn't have met me if you'd stayed, would you?
When you put it like this, I'm one lucky motherfucker, Becky.
I like the way Nico says that line. I like the way he says, lucky motherfucker, Pecky. I just like the way Nico says Packy, because it's such a silly name, and he has to say it in his silly accent. If anybody who watches this is, like, Slavic, does Nico have, like, a convincing accent? For... I believe that we have established that he is Serbian. I'm just gonna go with that. I've talked a little bit about, like, the sort of historical context behind why he, like, the war he was in and why he might have moved. Assuming that, you know, all of that is the same as in real life in GTA land. Anyway, got some stuff to do now. I'm gonna call Ray and he's gonna get all pissed off. I believe the next thing we're doing is, picking up Roman for a little night out on the town because he called me, which I believe you're going to see in just a moment.
Cousin, it is your cousin. Let us go drinking.
We will drink. Wait for me.
We will drink.
Great, Nico. See you in the while.
I love to make plans and talk like a normal human being and say stuff like, we will drink. So, I'm looking at my notes on my phone for different topics that I wanted to talk about during this video, and I'm not going to start up on them right away because we're going to have a little Roman conversation in a second here. But there are a lot of them, and none of them are the kind where I could really find myself, like, ranting about them for 20 minutes. But they are more so just, like, things that have been happening on, like, social media. I mean, stuff that's been happening in real life, but that has been being talked about on social media. Not so much regarding the protests, not all of it at least. That I just wanted to, like, briefly mention, but none of them really have anything to do with anything, so I'm struggling to, like, find a way to start talking about them. Anyway, let's listen to Roman.
Heavily involved in carjacking and spend some time doing hits for the mob. Look at how we live here. What have we done? Where exactly would your aunt fit into this lifestyle?
It was just an idea. I thought maybe she'd find America exciting.
Yes, she loves crack dealers. Don't you remember how she couldn't move back on our farm because of all the heroin dealers and the coke whores and the arms smugglers? She would love it here.
You know, I love your mother. There's just one thing I can never figure out about her. One terrible black mark against her.
What?
How she raised such a brick of a son.
Very funny.
I know. I think it's pretty funny.
I like the way he said that. So yeah, well, the first of those things, apropos of nothing, that I wanted to mention is the Internet Archive. Some of you may have heard about it. They're ending their like free digital book lending program where they have a huge archive of different literary works that you can access for free, which they expanded, I believe, specifically because of the pandemic and like the limits to access that the pandemic has put on, academic stuff. Because a bunch of writers and publishers filed a lawsuit claiming that they were like in gross violation of copyright. Including one of the writers who was involved with it is this fucking dude named Chuck Wendig, who is like a pretty typical like #resistance Twitter liberal, and also one of the worst and most insufferable writers I've ever seen, both with his essays and his tweets. He just is one of those like twee millennials who, soy faces and uses fucking weird baby talk. Yeah, so I may have accidentally murdered Roman by falling onto him while he was clipping into this brick wall. You can see his arm there is a little bit bent from the wall. And I guess that was the end of our date. I mean, at least we got to get drunk, and it sobered me right the fuck up. You could see it had the little drunk, shaky camera before that, and it went away instantly. And then, I tried to call him again to see if, we could try again, because the only reason I went out with Roman was because I wanted his like of me to go up. And, that's not gonna happen if I fucking kill him. But that didn't work, obviously. I guess he's too busy in heaven. And then I went back to look for his body, and it's gone. So, yep, I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen, and instead we're gonna go over and talk to this person that I've been putting off for a long time. You unlock him after, like, the second mission with Little Jacob, which was, like, 25 parts ago at this point. But it's Badman.
Hey, my youth. Wagwan.
Hey.
Hey, oh, you go like you know who he is, road boy. Chuck, you don't know who he is.
Batman, what's up?
Boy, me there, road boy. Me said no one can test me, no road boy. No one can test me. See?
Who's testing you?
Them slabber Russian type, my youth.
Yeah?
That's everything, disrespect. Yo, road boy, let me tell you something right now. Don't come yourself and drink milk, road boy. We never come out for caught in a cow.
Right, whatever you say.
Yo, road boy, let me tell you something. You see, fish could keep their mouth closed. Them wouldn't get caught, road boy.
Exactly. Tell you what, let's go hit those Russian fuckers right now.
You know what, road boy? Come here, we go deal with them boy there right now. Yo, Mayo, get to your vehicle.
So yeah, just another one of these sort of random encounters where just, driving them to a place where there are some boys who made them angry, and then you murder the boys, and they might give you a little bit of paper, and then you leave. And I believe this is the only Badman one. And I do hope to do more of the random encounters. I've mostly just been like sprinkling them in between here, like, if I'm on my way to something and I pass by one and I like am not dying, then I've been trying to just like do them because I'm not gonna fucking remember where any of them are. There's one in particular that's like under a bridge, like in Algonquin. It's like it's right under an overpass, so it's kind of hard to like get to because, it's overlapping and you're under it and whatever. Anyway, so I decided I would try my tried and true method of running people over instead of shooting them, which mostly worked, but then that guy got away, and I tried to get out, and instead of doing anything, Nico did this, and then I was trying to mash F so that I could get out of the car, and I instead mashed G, which is the horn button. And now we're just chasing after this dude who I was very worried was going to get away, and then I would have to do this all again, or I would just fail and Badman would die or something. Which, by the way, now I've missed my opportunity to do it, but I remember one of the funniest things in my original LP of this was when I saw Badman sitting on that bench, and you can just fucking obliterate him with a car. You can just drive right through the bench. But anyway, there you go. Had to run like a mile, but I got him. And now the Russian boys will not be messing with Bad Boy anymore. So, good job. Nice sweater, buddy. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. He looks like he's like 50 or something.
You love to disappoint me, Nico Bellic. You really do.
Are you disappointed that I have not found and killed you yet, Dmitri Rascalov? Do not worry, your time will soon come.
I went to the sewage works on Charge Island.
Yeah, I'm just gonna talk over this because it's just Dimitri, saying, oh, Nico, you're a big butthole, and I want to see you dead. And Nico's like, fuck you, idiot. That's exactly what they say. But yeah, about the Internet Archive thing, I don't really have like a big hot take on it. My take is the same as pretty much everyone's, which is that the decision fucking sucks. And Chuck Wendig and all his ilk who are responsible for it are vampire idiots, and I hate them. Because it's not enough that the entire social safety net is gone, and the average person is just completely alienated and disenfranchised by the way the economy works and all of that. All of those, big, systemic things that are more broad and have clearer and more devastating consequences for people. It's not just that we have all that shit. You can't even have little nice things. You can't even use the website that lets you read old books for free. Fucking, I don't know, the defunding of the arts and community places and libraries. No, you can't just have pleasant, free experiences with other human beings. You always have to be supporting some brand or business or dying. And it just sucks. The way that, austerity and the way that our economy and society works has just, sucked the joy out of living in every possible aspect. So, that's my only real take on that. What else? Oh, I mean, that whole thing kind of reminds me about, another thing that I have not read yet. Maybe I'll read it on stream at some point soon. Yeah, we're picking up Roman from the hospital, who weirdly does not mention, that you fucking murdered him while you were out drinking. And before I get into what I was just going to talk about, which I may not because I'm probably going to run out of time right after this, I'm going to put that off because this is actually a good discussion.
Really, you don't like it? The lights, the titties, the food, the opportunities? Come on, Nico, it's kind of incredible.
It's stupid. Everything is just advertising with nothing to back it up. They tell you you're eating the best burger ever, and you believe it until you're sweating out all the chemicals in it, and the hormones are making your balls feel funny.
My balls feel fine, but I did notice my man tits getting larger when I was eating a Cluckenbell every day.
Everything else is fake too. The titties aren't real, and the opportunities aren't opportunities at all. To seize them, you end up in so much debt that you'll be a slave for the rest of your life.
I cannot believe what you're saying. Do you seriously mean that you don't like fake titties, cousin?
Seriously.
Do you seriously mean that you don't like fake titties? I love that. That's I actually think that conversation is really illustrative of a lot of the themes of this game. I mean, obviously it's very plainly stated, not very subtle or anything, but I think that's all right for that kind of game. Sorry for this kind of game. Sorry for bumping my mic. But yeah, I really liked the line of everything is advertising, the opportunities aren't real opportunities because to seize them you have to go into so much debt you'll be a slave for the rest of your life. That really does nip it in the bud, and it kind of ties into what I was just talking about with living under austerity and everything. I kind of wish this game would delve a little bit deeper into those sorts of things, but oh well. Anyway, next time we'll be taking this nice car to the first of the mafioso people. And I will actually talk about the things I was going to talk about. Maybe. If I have time and remember to. So I'll see you then for that.